So Arvind Kejriwal has announced that his Dharna is a massive success. It's a massive victory. Women in Delhi will be safer after the SHO of Malviya Nagar and the PCR in charge of Paharganj have been sent on paid leave pending inquiry. The Delhi Chief Minister has announced his Dharna has now been called off. He respects the appeal of the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Najib Jung. The Lieutenant Governor of Delhi spoke to Arvind Kejriwal and said the station house officer of Malviya Nagar, who the Honorable Law Minister of Delhi, Somnath Bharti, was very angry about. He has been sent home on leave, and joining me now for more is Headlines Today's National Affairs Editor Javed Ansari, who broke this story. Javed, this is very deft handling of the situation by the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Najib Jung. Javed, can you hear me? Najib Jung, the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, handled this matter quite deftly, ensuring that the Dharna is called off before Republic Day, and the police officers are only sent on leave pending inquiry.
Well, most certainly, and it was done in total consultation with the Union Home Ministry, and we have some details which we can reveal. Earlier in the day, it was Mr. Yogendra Yadav who touched base with the Lieutenant Governor. Their initial demand was that these policemen be suspended. The Lieutenant Governor explained in detail that that is not possible, that's not the procedure, and that also that then they will have to shift from here because the government cannot allow them, in keeping in view the 20th sensitivities involved with the 26th January celebrations. Thereafter, he spoke to Mr. Yadav, facilitated a telephone call between Mr. Najib Jung and Mr. Kejriwal. They spoke. Then the Political Affairs Committee of the Aam Aadmi Party went into a huddle in the Press Club of India, and that's where it was decided. This has been going on for the day, throughout the day, and then they reached this compromise formula that the SHO would be the SHO and the PCR van in charge of Paharganj would go on leave pending an inquiry. So this is a compromise, an honourable compromise between both sides. And as it happens in any agitation, you always leave the room, the door open for negotiations, for compromise, and that's precisely what has happened.
This, many would argue, Javed, is a face saver for Arvind Kejriwal, because initially they wanted action against 4 policemen. They wanted Delhi police to be brought under their control, claiming that they wanted to make Delhi safer for women. Of the big things that they wanted, this is perhaps the smallest thing that they're taking away from the table. They're walking away perhaps just with crumbs off the table.
Look, that's one way of looking at it, but conventionally, always, when an agitation starts, you adopt a maximalist position, and then you come down to something reasonable that to achieve a compromise, and that's precisely what has happened. Mr. Kejriwal and company are now in power. They also realize the nuances, so while they may have pushed the envelope as far as and taken this unprecedented step of holding a public agitation, an unprecedented step of a state government and the state chief minister sitting on Dharna. However, they also realize that you can't go beyond a point, and there has to be a point where you need to compromise. The terrible winter, there have been people camping out in the open. That has also had an effect. And so all things considered, they decided that this was the best time to strike a compromise, because they didn't want to be seen as coming in the way of the Republic Day celebrations. This is Republic Day and 15th of August are two things which all Indians celebrate.
Oh, absolutely, Javed. That's a national event, and what spot on, Javed. What would have been unprecedented is the fact that Arvind Kejriwal is now the Chief Minister of Delhi. He himself has to unfurl the tricolour at Chhatrisal Stadium on the 25th of January. And imagine the Chief Minister being on strike and not unfurling the national tricolour, not unfurling the tricolour at Chhatrisal Stadium. When I posed that question to Aam Aadmi Party ministers, they had absolutely no answer. Were they equally desperately looking for a face saver and a way out of this situation, Javed?
Gaurav, if they weren't looking for a compromise, this compromise would not have been achieved. It takes two sides to compromise. It took the government softened a bit, conceded a bit. Mr. Kejriwal and company conceded a bit, and that's why this has happened. Like I said, in any agitation, you first strike a maximalist position, and then you come down to something which you feel is reasonable, which achieves some of your ends, if not substantially or entirely. In no agitation, by and large, in no agitation do you achieve 100% that you set out to. You have to settle for a midway point, and I guess this is a midway point which suits, which gives Mr. Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi something to crow about, and it gives the government a well-deserved breather.
The government gets a breather. The protesters, the Aam Aadmi Party protesters, leave this venue. The judicial inquiry is anyways underway. So all that the Aam Aadmi Party, Javed, has been able to achieve is ensure that SHO Malviya Nagar goes home on paid holiday, and the sub-inspector in charge of the PCR at Paharganj is sent home on paid holiday till the time the judicial inquiry is completed.
Gaurav, aside from that, what they've achieved is that they've focused attention, they've kept the political pot boiling, they're back in that agitation mode, and they've also focused attention on their larger demand, and this is something that they will talk about in the days to come, especially closer to the Lok Sabha elections. Full statehood for Delhi, bringing Delhi police under the ambit of the Delhi government. So these are larger political games. They weren't just playing to get an SHO removed or an SHO suspended. There was a larger political game to this, to come back into prominence and to have a political point. And they've scored a political point where they've brought the question of Delhi statehood back into focus.
Delhi statehood, the larger demand that they're making. How many takers for that in case they were to move a proposal? Is the Congress party on board? Is the BJP on board on that larger demand of Delhi police reporting to the Delhi Chief Minister, Javed?
Look, as far as these two parties are concerned, for the record, they all have it in their manifesto. But given the current political climate, given the fact that we are in election mode, nobody would want to concede it just because Aam Aadmi Party is demanding it. They'll wait for an opportune time and maybe revisit this issue. But in this current climate, just before the Lok Sabha elections, I'd be very surprised if both BJP and Congress agree to concede this demand. BJP in principle has been in favor of smaller states, of creation of new states. However, given the way the Aam Aadmi Party has tried to monopolize this demand, I'm not so sure if either the BJP or the Congress would like to concede that political ground to the BJP, Gaurav.